Good morning, everyone. My name is Chanika Collins. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'll be talking to you about a science and technology issue that I'm really interested in. The issue is assisted reproductive technology, ART for short. 30 million babies, $25,000 a cycle, and a choice that used to belong to nature only. We've officially entered the era of architectured life. Assisted reproductive technology is a miracle for millions, but it's also sparkling a fierce global debate over designer babies and the commodification of the womb. Is art a triumph of human empathy or a slide towards a new kind of eugenics? Today, we're breaking down the ethical shadow and the brilliant light of the fertility revolution. The history of human production was, for decades, a narrative of biological faith. Birth was a lottery, governed by the unpredictable intersection of health, age, and genetics. However, in 1978, the birth of Louise Brown, the world's first test tube baby, signaled a permanent shift in the human story. Today, assisted reproductive technology ART, which includes in vitro fertilization, IVF, egg freezing, and gestational surrogacy, is a global medical pillar that facilitates the birth of over 13 million babies as of 2026. While critics argue that art risks the commodification of life and the rise of designer class, the technology serves as a vital tool for social equity and a revolutionary shield against the tragedy of hereditary diseases. One of the most significant advantages of art is the ability to grant individuals autonomy over their biological clocks. In the modern era, the peak years of biological fertility often collides directly with the period of life required for intensive higher education, career establishment, and financial stabilization. The biological sociological mismatch has historically forced many, particularly women, to choose between professional growth and the opportunity to have biological children. Egg freezing has emerged as a revolutionary solution to this dilemma. By allowing individuals to pause the aging process of their gametes, art provides an edge against age related infertility. This is not merely a matter of convenience, it is a fundamental shift in human agency. It allows for planning of families when individuals are emotionally and financially prepared, rather than when they are biologically pressured. Furthermore, this technology provides an essential biological insurance policy. For those facing medical crises, for instance, patients diagnosed with cancer can freeze their eggs or sperm before undergoing treatments like chemotherapy. Without art, the victory of surviving cancer would often come at the permanent cost of one's reproductive future. By preserving these cells, art ensures that a medical diagnosis does not dictate the end of a family lineage, transforming a potential tragedy into a narrative of resilience and choice. Beyond expanding who can become a parent, art offers an unprecedented level of preventative healthcare. Through pre-implementation genetic testing, PGT for short, families carrying genes of devastated conditions such as Huntington's disease, Parkinson's, cystic fibrosis, natural conception can often feel like a game of high-stake Russian roulette. Art allows doctors, clinicians to screen embryos for these specific genetic markers before implementation occurs. This proactive approach significantly reduces the global burden of hereditary diseases and spares future generations for avoidable chronic suffering. Furthermore, art serves as a biological insurance for individuals facing sudden medical crisis, For example, the cancer patient can freeze their gametes before undergoing surgeries like chemotherapy or radiation, which often causes sterility. In this context, art is not an attempt to play God. It is a sophisticated method of preserving a fundamental human right to reproduce in the face of illness. It transforms a potential medical tragedy to a story of family continuity. Critics worry about commodification. The idea that we might start viewing children as items to be manufactured. When we test and store embryos in lab, there's a risk of treating them like products rather than human beings. This is especially true with designer babies, where technology meant to stop disease could instead be used to pick traits like eye color or intelligence. Because these treatments are expensive, between 15,000 US dollars to 25,000 US dollars each time. They aren't readily available to everyone. This creates a gap between the rich and the poor. The wealthy can afford to buy genetic help or advantages for their children. However, others are left with the standard risk of natural birth. When having a baby becomes a business, it can lead to the mistreatment of women. In some poorer countries, women may be used for reproductive labor without receiving proper long-term medical care or legal protection. The bottom line is, many fear that art turns the miracle birth into a business transaction, prioritizing money and market demand over human dignity. In conclusion, assisted reproductive technology stands at the intersection of human hope and technological mastery. There is no denying that it has brought immeasurable joy to millions and provide a lifeline to those who once had no path to parenthood. By fostering social equity and providing a mechanism to eliminate the shadow of genetic disease, art represents the pinnacle of medical empathy. However, the concerns regarding commodification and the potential for a new era of eugenics cannot be dismissed. As we move forward into the 21st century, our challenge lies not in the science itself, but in the legal and ethical frameworks we built to govern it, ensuring we value every child for their inherent worth, regardless of how they were conceived. Guys, thank you very much for watching my video. That is the end, and I will be putting the references down in the description. And thank you very much to my lecturer for giving us this assignment. Even though I'm a little bit shy and I do not have the right devices, at the moment I tried my best to upload something that was very informative. So thank you very much, guys. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate it so much, and thank you again for joining. Bye.